ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crusader Kings 3 series of the Normandie here on the Lord Master channel. As I'm nodding my head in approval, as this is a new era for Britannia, whether if it'll be another good one or not so good one. But now we're on a bit of an expansionist era, so to speak, because our previous ruler, the Empress, the Great Empress, who will be missed. What was her name? Alice. Alice the Scholar. She was 85, 2 months before her 86th birthday. She was gored on a boar's tusks, right in the middle of England. Now, what a ruler she was. She was calm, brave, and humble. Initially, she was craven, lazy, then became arbitrary, but calm was the only thing that else was the only remaining childhood trait that she picked up since childhood. Her personality shifted over the years, and then she made it to a much better person. But she was also a gardener, architect, dreadful despot, inspector, scholar, overseer, administrator, and a wayfarer. In addition, she was a poet and a Crusader veteran. She was a lot of things, some of which could rival those accomplishments of Stephanie, one would think. She will be missed. But as much as I would like to hold a funeral and go to the coronation, but we got about 8 months before the Crusade for Valencia, which will occur down there, as the area of Valencia is a small one. It includes this northern part, but also the islands of the Balearic Islands. Even though the Mosaic faith is astray, so they can join. I'll be willing to participate in Crusade, and we'll have that army assembled very soon. But first, my lifestyle. Given that I'm a man of intrigue, I'm a seducer. So I have these perks. Moves my attraction penalties. Moves rank difference penalties. Incestuous penalty. All about donation. Lovers are less likely to join murder schemes against me. Lovers are more likely to save me in case of attempted murders, which is to be expected. 20 days faster to seduce. Home advantage. No longer critically fail seduce schemes. Smooth operator. And a seducer. It is not difficult to desire. The true challenge is to be desired. So yes, I'm a very fertile man, but here's the thing. I would like to have a son. Having many daughters is great, but I want to have a son. A damn good son. But please remember that I do not have any inheritable traits, but my children are rather intelligent. So I did some looking around before recording. That I found 2 people in particular who I would be most willing to seduce with, because they're geniuses. Very easy. Liege's child. Very easy. Want to begin a seduce scheme with her. For starters. And there's other perks to unlock here. And if there are people, particularly unruly vessels I want to get rid of, go towards path of skullduggery. Maybe I'll be a schemer as well. Seducer, schemer, deduct, Or to murder? I'm the most interesting man in the world. Having more personal schemes would be ideal. And for Marshal, go for stalwart leader. And head down to courtship. Promising prospects. I'm a lover, and somewhat of a fighter myself. You'll get another stewardship perk soon. Let's keep it the same. And continued the policy of open-mindedness that my mother did. So we're going to continue on that. Maybe perhaps see the world again. Now I want you to bear in mind that the domain limit penalty is going to hit. And it's going to hit hard. So if I were you, I would give some counties away. Oxford in particular. Since I haven't really made much investments down there. She's a veteran explorer. You probably would want to keep her around. Especially that we're going to send her out on another expedition to the west. Just said stick around. So give it away to some English nobleman. Just some guy. And I'll give York away. Earl Henry, the architect. I'm giving you a vast directive. Spread that English culture up in York. Nodding my head in approval as I take a drink. While other places like Rouge and parts of Normandy, that stays. Because I've made so much investments over there. My rival. If I was to assassinate anyone, it would be him. Even though he is of the Normandy dynasty, but of a different house. But that man's going to be an issue. Mark, damn, what do you know? You were punished enough. You were gonna help me out with this. I mean, he is a powerful vassal, and I would have to hate him. But of course, I could challenge him to a rival. Challenge him to a duel. He'd be willing to accept because he's ambitious. Say, you think you're a man? Before I do that, a couple of other things until all the people are here. Remember, Greenland's resilience is needed as the networks are very, very good. So, just sending it to Markland. And I know who exactly, and it ain't gonna be you three. And meanwhile, support Greenland. For the resilience. And we wish it success on its journey to that. One thing I do not look at very much is my traits. I'm impatient, I'm fickle, and I'm callous. Works for someone of intrigue, but not so much on the impatient part. But there's intimate reckoning, so we shall see if there's one trait I would like to switch out of. I think fickle's good for intrigue, but stubborn is just fine. I think I'm willing to roll it at a random one. So, just give me a hesitant to click as I'm circling my finger. Give me something good. Humble. Alright. That'll make vassals like me a little more. That's alright. I'll take humble. Even though I'm known to be callous and impatient. And don't forget to change your laws that reflects your character. Because, you know. Oh my goodness. Encourage slavery. That's all because you're callous, the opposite of compassion, which would make buildings even more cheaper than they already have. But the control growth would be a lot slower. I mean, look at that. Encourage slavery plus unrestricted sprawl. We'll be making a lot of investments of construction until we are done with it, where I will roll back on that a bit. We'll keep it a sycophantic officers just to keep those vassals in mind for a while. Control, forgiving, lustful, chaste, centric, sadistic, yeah, I wanted to keep the command structure as it is. Although, since I'm humble, we get to keep unrestricted sprawl. As arrogance the other way. But there's nothing that says patient versus impatient in one of these laws. No, it doesn't. So patient and impatient doesn't apply to laws. That I'm a tad bit callous. So watch out. Right. Anything else? Okay, as much as I would like to hold a coronation ceremony, but again, Crusades are going to start soon. And ask the royal architect of yours to take part of the expedition when she arrives. Okay. Raise the army. It'll take 12 months to assemble. And it seems I'm good enough to lead, as I have rough terrain expert. And that terrain we'll be fighting in is somewhat hilly. At least up there. And there's mountains as well in Valencia. I mean, it's a very small area that we have to take. I don't know about Mallorca. After this crusade, I will be crowned emperor. Ready? Let's go. Waiting for her to arrive in London so I can send her out to the west. She's a good woman. Well, I might seduce you too. At point as expedition leader. 100%. You got it. Right, we got that sorted out now. Let's get the army together. Ah, 1 second. Be back in a moment. Okay, I guess that's gone now. Never mind. I arrived in Greenland. Increased by 17, and its networks increased by 7. Very good. Queen Alice created academics. Courtiers. Cosmopolitan. Interesting. Glad you are siring more children. Here's becoming an abject and inclusive. I know life's hard for you, ruling in Serbia. Now it takes 11 years to get Malta in a claim of, but at least we have other priorities. Now at the same time, get rid of John. First, let's have a duel. Right here, right now. I'll have you dealt with first, because you created this solution factory. You want to destroy the whole empire, you madman? For a few brief moments, Duke John and I paced in lazy circles, each watching for an opening. I had to mind the Normandy sword, ready to defend myself, while I clutched his axe firmly in the hand. This fight may be until for first blood, but that is ease my nerves. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. John counters of a fierce hail of quick slashes, almost cutting me down repeatedly. Strike, parry, bust. Expert onslaught. Throw out a flurry of rapid attacks and counters. Because I'm lose stress because I'm impatient. I'm leaving an action, launch a flurry of quick slashes, driving myself hard against John's guard. Wearing him down with each exploit time strike. John tries to feint left with his axe, only to strike from my heart with a concealed dagger from his offhand. My form is good, only smaller. John's stance formidable. I have yet to open up my opponent's guard at all. See no way to claim victory. An opening. Try my steel, Kara. Because of my high intrigue. With immense speed, I strike at the momentary weak point John's card. It becomes easier for my foe to injure himself. It's like, that's some trickery right there. See who can play that game. With all my strength, I surge past John's guard and launch a fervent strike with my sword, aiming to run him through. Only the narrowest of margins stops me from claiming bloody victory. With surprising speed, John unleashes a powerful cleave of his axe, near knocking my sword loose. My form is good, voice Mars. John's stance is failing. My opponent is still holding off my blow as well, but he seems close to faltering. Expert onslaught again. My sword arm moves fast as lightning. It strikes as hard as sundered stone. Blow by blow, I beat my opponent to a bloody, concussed submission, hammering him to the ground with all the fury St. George can lend me. When all that is left is a quivering pile of bleeding man, I wonder if I've gone too far. Then John coughs hard enough to loose his grip on his axe and allow myself a little sigh of relief. With the worry over, I kicked my foe's weapon away and laid my own against his throat. Takes a few tries, but John gets the yield out eventually. I'm victorious. And any belligerent vassals that know me, they respect me, because the lieges won the duel. And don't forget, you can spar at night as we're preparing for, you know, an upcoming crusade. I mean, yeah, I'm a little too old for tournaments and such, but I wish I was a young man. But William, my bodyguard and acclaimed knight and aspiring blade master. Let's spar. Awaiting response is another matter. Awaiting a response is another matter. What another matter? Crusade? Come on, somebody want to spar with me? 1 second, please. Let me take off command. 1 second. See if this works, because I really want to spar with one of my men. No, sir. Okay, fair enough. Alright. Slept with my spouse in imprisonment. Oh, so it is you. That's the reason. I could have you imprisoned right now. But the crusade will be coming. After the crusade, your ass is mine. And I cannot request a divorce because the Pope says no. Because I'm English. What, you don't like the English? You got something against us English? That's the reason why I've been into seducing schemes. Because I want to marry someone who is a genius. Loves more than one another. In fact, the good thing about being a seducer is those vassals who are female rulers of their vassaldoms here, they won't join rebellions against me. They like me well enough. They find me attractive. Same for the men who are bisexuals and homosexuals. They probably find me more attractive than normal. Yeah. Probably should be patient. An elaborate plot may backfire. So for now, watch your ass. It's early in the reign. For now, just prepare for a crusade and we'll march to the front line of where it's going to be. Disillusionment. Alright, here we go. Royal favor. What do we got here? That's pretty good, actually. Let me have a look at the royal favor portion. As a reminder. You gain over 25 years, slowly reducing it to a total of 4. I guess we could do one. You should think about your vassals. Courtly ones respect you enough that Wolf, or was it for that unrestricted sprawl? You got plenty of parochial vassals. There's a bunch of minor landowners. Minority. Parochial vassals. Yeah, we got plenty of that, so... For once, sell titles and lands to rich merchants. That sounds uncharacteristic, but this is for practicality. We'll embrace the commerce and economic growth by supporting the merchant class and their needs. So we're giving privileges to merchants this time. I mean, after all, it is English tradition to have maritime mercantilism. And in 18 months' time, particularly after the Crusade, we'll have audacious cadets, and then we will replace our heavy cavalry with the Norman heavy cavalry. Just to show that our Norman heritage isn't going away. It's still very much part of it. All because of House de Normandy. Shit! Don't forget you have a fallback plan. Besides that, court reputation, here it is. Influence and merit don't mean much. +1 overnight, monthly lifestyle experience. +10 attraction opinion. Where does that fall under? Shrewdness. Boldness, rationality, skills, strategic acumen. The dread, the boldness, and the strategic acumen received at court. I see. Now, military renown. Seems fair. Council agenda. Taxation is the reason. Power struggle. Well, we got that one unruly chancellor of mine. And the inner circle. Right. But after all, I don't have much in the way of friends. Other than I got this one guest and friend. Which... Bring him over. That's because I saved your life. Hey, would you like to go to Greenland? Will not accept, because he's my friend. Seasoned warrior, mercenary leader. Bonnewild traveling through the plains of Anjou as part of Alice's entourage. Hey, Callus is the opposite of gregarious, I believe. Is it not? I mean, why don't you look at the laws again? Gregarious. Sorry. No. Callus is the opposite of compassion. Totally different thing altogether. still assembling the military. What happened? Did he got killed or something? Disappeared without a trace. What the hell? Get down there. And now there's Henry the Second. Give me another Henry. Knights. Invite them over. Still agenda. Callous and peace. Oh dear. Well, since I'm a man of intrigue, I need to know exactly who I can trust or not. Alright. +1 intrigue and enemy hostile success scheme chance and personal scheme. And for holding management. Discover and dismantle local criminal factions. Got it. A rowdy peasant seeks revenge against his ruler after having his hand cut off as punishment. Additional intrigue, bit of natural dread, and those who are intimidated will give me more tax and vassals to me. And hostile scheme face length. Why are they slower? Less travel danger, and minority vassals don't particularly like it when I do that. And it should be noted that I'm the first ruler of this dynasty's history who isn't brave. Because many of my predecessors were brave men and women who built this country. But now, I'm not particularly brave, but I'm willing to lead my troops as a Crusader. Good luck, Catherine. This is your second exploration. And maybe, one day I might seduce you for your intelligence. John, if you don't stop with that disillusion crap, I'm gonna have to get rid of you. After the Crusade, of course. Hello, Richard. Okay, now we're getting a bit of a deficit as the army has gotten larger and larger. A messenger bird brings a message from Catherine with an update about her expedition to Markland. It seems the expedition made a landfall at the beach. A few members of the crew, led by Catherine, ventured inland to explore the area. The party did not travel far before they found something interesting. Several strangely shaped buildings made of wood and hides. There was no doubt there was some sort of village. However, no one was present, and it appears that this village was abandoned some time ago. Catherine debated with her crew whether to retreat out of caution or to take and salvage anything that looked valuable before making off. Wonder what she did next. Well, given she's a woman of intelligence and well-rounded, especially diplomacy. Let me see. Martial challenge, diplomacy challenge. Maybe Catherine waited to see if any locals showed up. As ambitious she is, she's calm, and she'll wait it out. So, 50% chance that the village's residents return. If they do, it'll be 100% chance that these villages' residents are eager to exchange goods. Chance of successful outcome. Or, at least, 50% chance that the village is indeed inhabited, which will give out the stewardship challenge for Catherine. Or 21% chance that the villagers have few items worth looting. A 78% chance is full of useful loot. See what happens. She waited till they show up. I continued reading the message. Catherine suspected there were still people around and told her crew to be patient. They waited and watched for any sign of people from a safe distance as to not cause any misunderstandings. After some time, it turns out Catherine's hunch was correct. The village's inhabitants returned from where, who knows. Then Catherine went out to greet them, Despite the language barrier, she managed to learn these people were the tribe of the Innu people, or the Ainu people, led by a certain Orchi, Orchikapu. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but at least I tried. The two sides talked for a while, and it seems these Innu, or Ainu, depending on how you pronounce it, appreciated that Catherine did not take advantage of their absence and waited for their return. Both sides agreed to engage in some exchange of goods, and thus, as far as Catherine is concerned, the wait was worth it. It's good that these foreigners are friendly. Again, it's that faith of theirs. They're of the unreformed Anishinabeg. Though many Anishinabeg nations are diverse, they do share some spiritual facts at least. The religious society called the Midewin, for example, is largely universal among most of these peoples, an important religious institution. Esotericism, ritual celebrations, sanctity of nature. And that culture of his they are the native of Labrador and Quebec. Ah, here it is. The Meadow are native Algonquin-speaking peoples of present-day Labrador and parts of Quebec, who were traditionally nomadic hunter-gatherers and fishers. In the past, they were referred to as Montagnais, I think, by Europeans, meaning mountain people in French. They prefer the term Ainu, meaning human, Ainu language. Speak the Cree language. Sacred Hands, frequent festivities, collect the lands, migratory. They have high medieval innovations. So it's a good outcome. Yes. Crusade will be launching in 3 months. Ill. If in an unlikely event that I die by an illness, my daughter, Princess Anne of Gascony, she'll take over and she's exalted erudite. And it's likely she will bring her to the reign of prosperity and enlightenment. For me, I would like to have a son. I'll have it postponed, unfortunately. Money's for the war effort. Already. Drake, he decided to become a marshal, and a pretty good one at that. Messenger bird brings a message from Catherine with an update about our expedition market. Apparently, according to Mischief, Catherine found like a promising harbor to anchor their ships. They had scarcely begun to approach the coastline when many arrows fell out of nowhere at them. The crew immediately rushed to leave the harbor. Fortunately, Catherine says it did not. Many serious casualties. Due to the frantic sudden nature ambush, Catherine's crew only managed a few glimpses of the attackers. There are conflicting reports of what these attackers looked like. For example, some of the crew claimed these attackers were strange, one-legged beings who hopped around swiftly. Others said that the crewmates misinterpreted their seriousness or clearly human foes and hated them all. Whereas attackers already seemed dangerous. Bad outcome. Damn it. So let's hope for a good one next, out of luck. Unless we get a good, decision making. The time has finally come to bring St. George's holy wrath against the vile infidels of Valencia. Inflamed by the righteous fear and unyielding resolve, The great army Crusaders assembled by Pope Stephanus sets forth to deliver divine justice upon the wicked and earn their place in heaven. As well. Alright. Your target starts over here. That's a city. Willia's over here. Chieftain. Who are you calling chief? It's not a tribal holding. Let's move out. Many more will be joining this crusade. We probably won't be the ones to get to the front line, but I'll try to be there. King Roger will be there ahead of time. Well, look at here. We got ourselves a hero. My wife, Empress Crocus, once again absent. Night falls distantly. Lost without already seen at court. Why not to her satisfaction? Super busy, could she be warm in someone else's bed? I know who you are. I'll investigate it myself. Innocent my ass, you are a known adulterer. First I noticed the hints of unease, then I noted the clues of anger, and finally confirmed someone in my council was clearly attempting to harm my prestige by spreading half-truths and lies about my person among my peers. While I tried to discover who was the guilty member of the council, the rascal covered his tracks very well in my investigation. This being said, I have strong suspicion about the actions of Duke Mark of Northern Isles, brother-in-law. Is he the traitor? I'll get my legitimacy back up after this crusade. As my realms pass by the state of warfare, it comes apparent there should be a way to specialize our troops whether in defense or in offense. As Supreme Commander of my army, I'm the one who will gain the insights of such training. There's a drawback to this, however. For as long as I perfect the art of the offense or defense of my troops, I'm not spending time developing my lifestyle path, thus losing important progress is made then. Given this situation, I have several paths to consider. I'll avoid wasted details. Arthur of Iceland, now a rival. Well, now I know someone to get rid of. Some convincing you need? Alright then. I'll give you my piety, my prestige. I give it at your courtier. Screw it, I'll give you a hook too. And I'll voluntarily leave it till 5 years. Alright, John. There you go. You know, you are the Chancellor of Duke Arthur. Help me out with this. As I said, now we know who we can get rid of. Thank you, William, for giving me the money for the war effort. I'll start moving in a month. As I was preparing to leave my castle to attend a ceremony at the local market just outside the walls, I'm interrupted by Duke Mark of the Northern Isles, together with his entourage in a most surgent tone. After I calmed everyone down, I got the final word that the murder attempt against me was prevented by my internal security at the last moment. My spy master continued to explain that the fatal interrogation session, together with the few material clues pointed to the wicked deed, was ordered. But one of my vassals had probably grieved enough me that the person I was capable of planning such a spectacle. Excellent job, Mark. You son of a bitch. I was about to say, hold on a minute. When it comes to robbers, Arthur of Iceland, and there was something about Duke Mark. Distance is the reason why you do not like me that much. Well, let me give you a compliment. And I can send you a gift since it kind of costs less these days to send people gifts. We'll know each other a bit better one day. A dark cloud was seen hovering around me recently, and a matter locals described as unnatural and bizarre. It stayed one exact spot for days on end, so they claim, casting an unwelcome shadow near one village in particular. Though the cloud has since dispersed, some claim that the presence of such omen spells doom and gloom for us. And dark times are soon to come. I'm not sure just about such claims are. I'll pray to God to guide us in these troubled times. Now it's got a lowered fort level, so I suggest you go take that place first. I am dreaming that I'm at a busy port in an exotic faraway land. People bustle around on the docks as I gaze upon the mighty ship in front of me. It almost looks as if it's made out of solid, hard iron and steel, not wood. It seems I'm a passenger on this ship, but I do not know what my destination is. After walking through a crowd, I approach my ship's captain and ask him where we're going. The man smiles and laughs. That is your choice, my friend. We could set sail for anywhere. Where do you want to go? So many places to see across the universe in so little time. I was about to tell him when I woke up. I dreamt of an exhilarating harbor and ship. A ship made out of iron and steel? Heck. A messenger bird brings me a message from Catherine with an update about our expedition to Marco. According to the message, she's come to the contact of a small band of locals led by a certain Ivak. Despite the language barrier, it appears these locals have peaceful intentions and wish to trade. Members of Catherine's expedition are divided on what to do next. Some don't want to give the locals any weapons or tools that could be used against us. Others argue it is important to earn the locals' trust and see what valuables they might wish to trade. Yet others feel that these locals are naive, and it's better to just steal or kidnap them. I wonder what Catherine decided to do. Before we talk about that, he's of the inert faith. I knew it, faith. Spiritual beliefs and mythology of peoples of the far north are diverse, but often revolve around the dangers of the Arctic environment. All things are said to have a soul, called the Nirint. Shamans play a role as a major role as religious healers and leaders. Communal identity is said to have That's what makes them different than the other. Sky burials. They do sky burials. That's different. And it says, Iraq, Kitataluk. His culture. The Inuit are long-time inhabitants of North Canada and Greenland. They're isolationists, good hunts, dexterous fishermen, expert artisans. The Dorset were the Paleo-Eskimo culture that inhabited northern parts of Canada and Greenland starting around 500 BC until somewhere around 1000 or 1500 CE. They do not appear to have any genetic connection with the Thule culture, the ancestors of the modern-day Inuit, and replaced them in the area. Inuit legends speak of the encounters with the so-called Inuit peoples, large giants who were afraid to interact with and fight the Norse. Inuit may correspond to Dorset peoples. There may also have been some contact between Dorset and Norse settlers in Greenland, though this is debated. But nevertheless, what should we... Knowing her, I think she simply tried to trade with the Vax people. 100% chance that she manages to conclude a trade agreement that is acceptable to both sides. Maybe take a drink. I continue reading the message. Though Catherine and her crew had difficulty communicating with Ivak and his people at first, they eventually managed to reach some kind of an understanding. Both sides agreed to change various goods. We gave them cloth, metal scrap, and so on, while they gave us some of their art, furs, wooden tools, and various trinkets. Catherine tells me that if the expedition returns successfully, which it will, she will show me the goods she acquired from these foreigners. All in all, the meeting was a success, and that she left feeling like they made a good friend in Ivak. I hope we find more people like him. Now we get on with the Crusade. Navarre's reactions to my events tell me everything I need to know. The time has come to put my plans into action. Is always watching. Who is watching? God or the man who runs the place where she resides as a guest? She'll be mine. I want her for her intellect. The ferry is a small space, and the air reeks of foul things recently deposited. But it is private. Oh, so private. Emma looks at me hungrily, removing her garments. I do the same, as we kiss a wave of lust that rises to make us forget both the sort of discomfort and dismal views and smells that surround us. We should do this again, but perhaps someplace else. His name is Thomas. Thomas de Normandie. Romantic rendezvous inside of Privy and Asturias and something. Don't worry. One day, we'll meet. As for you, I've gotta get rid of you. Her sin's already exposed as it is. That's just to gain piety. Murdering your wife would be the easiest thing in the world, but I doubt my children would even like me if I ever do that. If they found out, that is. You can imprison. And then what? Go ahead. Rival. As for my orders, Empress Krog is now confined to her home. Post some of my guards to ensure that she is compliant with the house arrest. She not only committed adultery, but there was also attempted elopement. All because of Duke John of Britannic. Exile her. She won't go, because it's my spouse. Execution would, whoo boy. There's a 25% chance of that happening. Well, keep an eye on the children's opinions. Friends and lovers, particularly you, Joan. We'll have her burned at the stake, accused that she was bewitching. I mean, yeah, she was a nice woman, but she committed adultery, and as well as attempted elopement. So this is one way to do it. I'm sorry, my dear children. Whoop, they didn't like that. Imprisoned family member. Unlawfully executed family member. Unlawfully, my eye! You know what your mother did? I didn't think that. Come here. Yeah, there's going to be some adjustments to be made. It's an attempt of. Okay, how did you join the court? See if I can try to ennoble her. 55% chance, or this won't work. Nope, didn't work. If I don't marry her right now, this is going to cause quite a bit of scandal. This will hurt my legitimacy level in the long run. Must not be a commander or not a commander. This is going to hurt. But don't worry, legitimacy level won't go back up after this crusade when I do the coordination ceremony and the funeral for my mother. Oh, Empress, no, my pet, I can embrace you openly now. With the blessing of both St. Bridget and the people around us, I'm the happiest man alive. Come here, wife of mine. Scandalous, that they'll say about me. Oof! It was either choice, so... At least I picked a nice one who is a bit greedy. Oh, it does have super personality, but unlike my wife, she won't be lustful and she will not fall for another man. Not to mention she's a brilliant prodigy. Yeah, the scheme didn't work to try to ennoble her. Whereas he could have seduced a noble woman and that would have had less problem. I recall there's this other religious vassal, the Hindu. Unfortunately, she's asexual, so she cannot be attracted to my advances, because I would have done it. Her twin sister, however, she would. Albeit zealous, but it kind of makes me want to think, after I give her to Duke Arthur, I'm going to have to get rid of Crusade before, you know, she gets married. Right, she won't accept anybody, maybe. Unless it's so noble. Well, she likes me well enough. One thing. First things first, learn her language. Before you do anything else. As my marriage went forward, I must face the consequences of choosing a lowborn for a spouse. Society does not look well to such prospects, be it for love or ease. My prestige and renown of my diocese have suffered the nasty effects of such bold and shameful part of my life. This hurts the legitimacy more, and I'll lose some of that renown, which is manageable. Oh, look. Oh, this is the one to watch out for. But don't worry. I forgot who's who we're dealing with here. 10 months. Last person to recruit. John wants the Greater Normandie throne. Like hell. We gotta get this war sorted out before all hell breaks loose here. Am I possibly committing a mistake in participating? The ships we sent on our expedition marked no return. When I meet Catherine, I ask her about the various adventures that she had during the expedition. Unsurprised there was much to tell. Fortunately, it appears the expedition was ultimately a success. During the expedition, Catherine managed to acquire a lot of useful resources, contacts, and information while exploring this frontier region. There is no doubt that the boons of this expedition will help the Greenland colony. Perhaps we should send another expedition to this region in the future. It would be another great opportunity to earn more glory for ourselves. We only had one bad episode, so we lost some money. God dang it, during a time like this. 31 prestige. Well, we learned about the legends about Native Americans. This character recently sponsored an expedition in the West Seas. The Exodus had some encounters with the Native American peoples, or the material culture at least. And the stories and tales about what these people were like fascinates this character. Could have been better. Our vigilance crushes their cunning. Our vigilance pays off at Palace. Intelligence discovered and sealed. Spies captured. Enemy raiding parties cut down. The men's confidence swells. No trick of the defenders can halt our progress. Armies regain 10% of their strength. Let's keep it going. We're on our way. Look at their army, being assembled together like that. Wife falls pregnant. I wish for a son, and in addition, have many more children. Because one son who might be born sickly and then later revealed to be a genius, that I'd be losing potential. Think of it. The tribe of Colossus. I step out of my tent and rub my siege cast balls before me. A mass of sticks, dirt, and bodies of humanity. The smell of it fills my nostrils. Foul in the sweet, clean air. What an intoxicating smell. The smell of it fills my nostrils. Foul in the sweet, clean air. What an intoxicating smell. Such a mixture of bodies, and mud, sweat, and human waste. Flags flutter above the throng. Figures hunt over campfires, tossing on wood or brushing sheepskins clean. My lower team is approaching small siege and got up my bodyguard said you had to camp. The tribe of Palas Justa stands for me. A rusting heap of battle-torn horse, mended steel. In the fields between lined the black corpses of slain men and burnt out hovels, choked with rubble. Windows are shuttered or smashed. Lofty doors lie warped in their rusty hinges, torn off their hinges and littering the cobblestones and fragments. Grass, stones, and mortar shoot from roofs and chimneys. Grieving soon-to-be widows hold up their sleeping, swallowed infants of their husbands to see one last time, looking for direction. Given I'm callous, we have to do the looting. After the siege, 2 men specifically caught my eye after being captured as prisoners once they had finished frantically fighting some of my levies with pitchforks and shovels. Glancing over them from a distance, I noticed the 2 of them grappling each other, supposedly fighting about an event that happened mid-siege before my soldiers had entered the castle walls. After asking what's going on, one of the prisoner guards informed me that Monado found out that Bermuda had Apparently used the chaos at the siege to steal some of his gold. On the other hand, Bermudo claims that Bernardo actually stole his gold, not the other way around. Well, Snorri wouldn't care about a situation like this. The two are yelling and shouting at night, keeping a lot of them awake at night. They're not twins, they're just... Bernardo and Bermuda sounds like twin names, you know? Given what that sounds like. I'll make them really quiet. Execute both of them. They fall silent forever. That's the main barony. We got another fortress up there to take. These mountain fortresses is going to be great for the defense. So, let's move up and take this place. I was about to say, what's going on? Defending against. Are you telling me that that Navarre has issues? Oh no, this is a different matter. Al-Andalus invasion of Galicia. Oh dear. What the hell? Oh, I was about to say, why is he nude? And two, or he's just showing that he's got the Great Fox. And this is just what happens when you don't do what you do. Because it seems that Navarra is a hostile army now, so don't mess with them. We just gotta take the mountain forts before we'll move on down. It's better territories while the main Crusader army is assembling. While we'll do all the bulk of the work. That's actually not the Dejo part. This part is. So okay, after this, then we'll go take that. Got it? Just looking at supplies. And we gotta cut those costs. Need a couple of things. Need a master of raids to give us monthly gold income. We have one man that qualifies for it. I mean, that helps a little to try to slow this damn thing down. Now I'm cutting costs except for this. This stays on. Stop that. Actually, that costs Piety, never mind. I keep it up. We don't need that because we're no longer on the defense here. Not about approval. Okay. So, slightly cutting down the cost. And there's another thing right there next. This. Quarter meters. Shut it all down. This will keep us going. Yes, this will lower the golden meters. We'll put it back up during the stable period. So this is the best we could do now. We'll try to slow down this deficit. So let's keep it going. There's more prisoners to ransom. We got a few rich ones. That'll keep us up. Ah, here's another. 100 gold more. That'll keep us going. Hateful woman, aren't you? Have you studied with someone who knows all about intrigue that isn't me? Catherine, why don't you do it? My daughter Emma, who's into stewardship. As I said, I tend to hopefully have a son. And this bank, he'll do. Not much is known about her. So, let's keep going. Arbitrary arrests. Tyranny gained for him goes to Robert's public opinion. Secrecy for all opposing schemes. So, yeah, this should keep us going for a bit. I exit my tent, siege camp sprawls up before me. A confusing mass of whitewashed tents, a horse fair, makeshift markets, erected by locals, pack animals, stands, and pens. Flags and banners fly in the damp wind, bright colors mixing helplessly in the grey rain. Everything is covered in a thick sheen of grey, damp like a mud-laden lake. My royal retainer informs me that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards to head to the edge of the camp. And then let me put this on. Here we go. The tribe of Vilha stands before me, a charred graveyard. In the fields between, many of my comrades lie dead, their blood mingled with that of their foes. Bodies litter the square. The stench of smoke and flesh reaches across the cold, black expanse between us. Survivors huddle sadly in the street, nuzzled up against their neighbors. Muddy eyes look up to sea. Gotta keep on looting. At the siege of the tribe of Lulu comes to an end, I sit upon the events that occurred as I commanded the siege's strategic decisions. Were the defenses too weak? Were my men, were weapons too strong? Either way, it certainly feels like that result. My liege, a lot of our fortified holds still use some of the same technology you forget to know, so before noticing my no concern, I'll look around the room and make myself clear. Until technological developments allow us to improve our forts more, we must... save our money until we can do so. Sounds like us in a current financial situation. Some cutbacks will do. Take this area. I mean, taking the Highlands would be great for us if they try to liberate their territory. What? Crusader reinforcements are coming. John? Which John? A man named John approaches me. Sorry that Courtier passes by in a hurry. Your Majesty, I heard you are studying the East Iranian language. My father was a merchant, and he could learn any language in no time at all, he says. His secrets are in this manual. I have no use of it, as I cannot read. I'm part of a reasonable sum. Inventory artifact, journal. A fine gift. Guards, make him hand it over. Shut up. Just need that book. Okay, after we capture this, we have to take this and then try to get towards the open plains where there's more supply limit. Our armies stand poised to take part in the Crusade for Valencia. St. George willing, we will soon rise victorious. The blood of the infidels is painting the soil red. May St. George lead us to victory. Was to marshal and upping my prowess a little more, despite the fact that I'm getting older. Thank you very much for your contributions. Rows of tents packed in tight squares of round, bouldering canvas extend towards the Valley of Solvabe. Jagged rocks jut from the ground like a herd of charging horses. At the crest of the hill, about 100 yards to the west, is a huge wooden catapult, and today it is dormant. Standards, and cutters flap and snap in the wind, leaning against the bare rocks that rise from the earth. Gulls circle above, calling or another with shrill cries. Cut timbers laid stacked like a wall outside the tents. The Willia of Sobrabe stands before me. A charcoal bastion. In the fields between, the red and yellow sea of roaring flames rises high into the air. Smoke coils from the blackened stone buildings. Their windows shattered, walls pitted and scorched, shallow craters dot the trampled fields between. Grieving widows and fatherless children under the blankets in the husks of their homes. In prison, everybody. Finally, a messenger rushes in my tent, informing that the white drapes have tumbled over the walls of the surrounding. As the gates to the holding swing open, the church bells ring out signaling surrender, followed by the appearance of Sheikh Atia on horseback with a few of his guardsmen. I know what I'm beaten, he says, dismounting with his horse near the wall. All I ask you is to spare my people. Well, I shall accept your surrender. He's of Mozarabic, he's not a Muslim. He's of Yabisa culture, which I think it's a diverged culture from Andalusian. Yeah, it is. Your first direct vassal of the enemy captured. Gotta move down towards the hills now. But in actuality, the real target is here. Because that stage or part of France is what you took. The real parts is over here that you would want to take. It only consists of Sarkusta, Alcanis. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Move down. This is a fort level 4. This will be easy to take. We just need to get down towards the plains. Crusaders are on their way. We're doing the bulk of it. The enemy army is our way. My court tutor Richard has been aiding me day and night in my efforts to learn East Iranian. His dedication to art teaching is inspirational. There's not a day where I'm not brought an East Iranian letter to read, a learned Sogdian man to converse with, or an extraordinary melodic rhyme. Truly I would not be this far along without Richard's help. He's doing his job well. If they plan on taking those mountain fortresses back, we're gonna meet them. Mestaphylaceous fever. Oh hell. This is a relatively new. The will spread towards Middlesex, no doubt. When this crusade is over, I gotta find a way to get out of this place. Sorry, it's just a little. We got here first, so you'll back us up in case we are attacked. Negotiate alliance with Queen Alice of Serbia. You got it. But first. Learning East Iranian is hard, really hard. I feel like there's no more room in my head, it's full. As soon as one word enters my mind, another one falls into the abyss of forgetfulness. I struggle with every lesson, I'm making no progress whatsoever. Fortunately, William's always there for me. Keep it up, my charming friend. I believe in you, he keeps saying. I really am blessed. Courtier and friend. Listening, seasoned warrior. I can always lean on him for support. He'll be my best friend. Recovery complete. The recent disaster affected our land. Left damage will take generations to mend. The wound fell across the land, inflicted on nobles and commoners alike. We're bound together to honor those who lost their lives and to restore our cities and towns. If disaster strikes again, we will be prepared. Victory against nature, indeed. A jumble of tents, shelters, installed arranged higgly-piggly under a weeping sky. Pennants snap in the stiff breeze. Here and there, in tents and makeshift shelters, men huddle over the fires, their faces smudged and gleaming of rain. The lily of Monzon stands before me, a tattered glimmering pennant fluttering in the highest tower, its flames raging to the pre-dawn sky. In the fields between, empty carts and wagons stand on end, makeshift defenses of archers' volleys. Hosts bulge and bloat in the streets. Shocked survivors stumble into the tightly packed houses, seeking what's of their lives. After getting too close to the action with the sieging of Monzon, I found myself caught with a nasty gash across my face by the tip of an arrow from a lucky foe. I've had worse, but it's certainly not a pleasant feeling. Wandering back to the main battle camp under the cover of the shield, I stand up, standing next to a tacky-looking makeshift catapult. I watch as it launches balls of rocks towards the lucky archer to hit me. Smiling for a second of revenge before wincing in pain from the movement of the cut on my face, I glance back at the siege weapon. In future, maybe I should reevaluate my positioning and equipment during sieges. You learn from the sieges. As my army marched through the sheikdom of Afraga, I'm not sure how to pronounce this place in this part of Spain. Villagers begged for mercy, their bellies struggled for famine. The soldiers discovered meager grain stores hidden beneath the barn. Locals plead desperate for its return. Why are armies eyes the food hungrily? My knight, Sweeney, turns to you. My lord, do we feed our men, or do we leave it to these wretches? I believe that fate of these people is not our responsibility, but some idealists think differently. Given I'm callous, I would definitely take that option. Feed the army. Their strength was paramount to win the war. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that. 6% chance that I might die right now. 5% chance to become scarred. 88% chance of winning. If I were to die now, and we'll have Britannia in England, while Greater Normandie will go to Matilda, Kent to Emma, Surrey to John. It's all for the best. I'm still here. They're gathering. Shall we engage? If you engage the enemy, you are definitely in a losing spot. And we're in need of a resupply. I'm looking at the supply limit of the two. Stop! Stop! They have a superior army commander. Guys, get over here. Come on, Shaganan. Old age, right? 74. Long life. Raleigh. Damn it. God damn it, man. Help us out here. Where the hell's the rest of them? This is terrible timing. I have a son. Hopefully a genius son. Well, I do not have the intelligence myself, but let's just hope he'll be blessed with intelligence when he grows up. Think, think, think. What is the name, English name, that doesn't sound too generic? That's what I'm looking for. Something unique. Something that's not too generic. Valerian? Is it like Valerian, but Valerian? I've never seen that name before, at least in modern English, but name them that. It's Valerian, but it's spelled with a W. So it's Valerian. 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 How do you... I'll figure it out next time. God damn it, guys! Where are you going? You're gonna get us killed out here. We're gonna be horribly outnumbered. Oh, they have the massive advantage. We're screwed. At least we'll be able to retreat somewhere. We'll be taking a severe lashing. Man, we're still getting beaten. Oh my god. We are withdrawing from that conflict. John of East Anglia was killed in action. John of Tuberville was captured. Everyone else is still safe. Let's hope that our sacrifice did not go in vain. I must worry about factionalism now. You have the advantage, but you're horribly outnumbered. Just put a lot of hurt on him. Extra metal there. There we go. There's one thing certain, they're putting a hurt on them just to slow them down before they took advantage. And now it comes the main Crusader army. They're still holding on. What time are you arriving? In 9 days. Can you hold on for 9 days? No. Attackers and defenders. They have the high ground. What kind of number is that? Recently disembarked. You idiots! Okay, you have the numbers now. God damn it, guys. 5 days. 3, 2, 1. They still have the advantage somehow. Now they do. Now things are not going away. I'm ending my participation. There's no way we can recover from that. We did our best, but wasn't enough. To take out my frustrations on somebody. Duke Arthur is finally dead. It's thrown on my side no longer. Thank God. It took weeks to lay the foundation of my plan. A poisoned dish, fit for a man of his stature. Ever the fool, Arthur proved unable to smell the poison past the tainted duck's bed of exotic herbs. Clearly didn't notice the deadly bitterness till it was already far, far too late. Thankfully there will always be whispers, and my involvement in the crime remains unknown. Must have been something I gained prestige for outliving a rival. I lose stress because I'm callous. As I said, somebody to take out my frustration on. Disaster. Again, the Malik of Rab Asmunia of Al-Andalus He's not even a man of military education. What makes his advantage so damn high? Military renown, inherited tactics, and he's antagonistic. Antagonistic. Crossroad this. A dreadful lunatic. Okay. He's warlike. Enhanced martial. He's not stressed as far as we know. Otherwise he would have a version to join. He took proper war preparation, so we'll give him that. So, major defeat for our crusade. That my vassal, the King of Scotland. Throw him in jail. Yeah, we're never going to recover from that. Low opinion and trait compatibility. Well, you're callous and I'm callous and you're, you know. Well, it appears the disease did not reach that far. Strata of the mercenary camp, surprising Captain William. I unannounced arrival with minimum guard. These are calculators. Your fighters look untested. Are you certain they're worth even half of what you demand? William reacts angrily. These men toppled kingdoms and scattered armies twice their size. Yeah, right. Turns sharply. Then, why haggle over coin instead of proving your worth? True warriors seek glory as much as gold. The nearby mercenaries watched the conversation with boldness, assured the dynamic, forcing the captain to defend not just his price, but his honor before his troops. Follow me. Unimaginable wealth of legendary glory awaits us. Successful negotiation. And don't forget, since they have a brilliant commander on their side, along with many defenders, he hasn't gotten, gotta say it yet. Joan turned out to be wheezing. Curse you, Kraka! But at least now that I have a son, and it is a healthy son. Or the what? I'll figure out the name's pronunciation in the next episode when I listen to the audio or read how it's pronounced. Or, matter of fact, since you have the free time. Hey, Your Holiness, you're not leading troops, are you? Well, he's not doing well himself. Sponsored festivities. Because I don't know if I should hold a coronation ceremony while he's still, you know, in poor health. I mean, I may have to do that. Because my legitimacy is bad enough as it already is, so I gotta win those people over. And also find a path that doesn't go towards that disease. Okay. How much does it cost? Very good. And I want to be there fast. And then after the Vatican, then we pay a little visit to Rome and then go back, because I wanted to be back on the throne as soon as possible. Having capital Burgundy. No, 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 not like that. Just go by sea. Just bypass all that crap. Okay? No, you're not anywhere near the typhus. You should be alright. Alright? So. Earning legitimacy, that's what I need. Has not. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting. Quest anointment. Spend my piety. Okay, that actually costs 1,000. Okay, I'll spend additional gold. Now. We'll hear back from him in a moment. Alright. Holiness. City request Crusader most worthy of my blessing. Must take about crowds for if you're faithful. Thank you, Your Holiness. Now I must go. One-eyed. Well, cause I'll just ignore him. Get out of here. Oh, I accidentally picked that. Oh, crap. I had to reach out to get Overhaul. Notice there's something about time. Every morning he's turning up at the swing and displays around. Even if it's at night, while everyone else is busy enjoying their food. He's out doing his own awe-inspiring exercise. I gotta be able to emulate Bud's exercise. I just can't do it, man. Start over. I want to know that language of the Sogdians. Eh. Investigate. Much to my surprise, I begin to hear a voice hailing our ship as we approach the wreckage. A man appears to be a healthy noble, floating around the remains of a door. Hell! Thought I'd see another soul again before the sea would claim me and steal my companions. Introduced as this. Claimed to be a lobo from the County of VIET, but he's offered to pay 6 patches for and company. Even up, Callus. I'm afraid I can't hear you. So, good luck to you, wherever you go off to. Let me spell your name. Galaran or Wallam is a Germanic. It's not Valerian, it's not Latin. It's Anglo-Saxon derived. So. Or Walram is another alternative fish name. It was common in the Middle Ages. Nobody's named that today, obviously. So I had to look up that name. Here, join it. The kings escaped. Oh, damn you. Leave it. We don't need the trouble. Right. Let's make haste. What is poisonous? It's almost fine after all. Haven't seen that travel event in a while. Let's haste our journey indeed. I'm impatient. Go, go, go! Pronunciation. Speak to me. Wallerun. Wallerun. That's how you say Wallerun or Wallerun. Wallerun. W as in we. There's a suck. A as in book. In R as in dictionary. In the world as in Wallerun. That's how you name your. That's how you tell your son's name. Wallerun. Wallerun. Say that multiple times till you get it. Get that to your thick goddamn head. Failed negotiation. Dragging it again. So that's why I married you in the first place. I want to have genius sons. Caught me trying to embezzle? The hell's the matter with you? Alright, I've arrived in the Vatican. We shall wait for the others to join. After we had our disastrous crusade in Al-Andalus. Well, not Al-Andalus, but Valencia is part of Al-Andalus. Old age progressively sets in. Must face my body decay acknowledged given my ever more occasional performances. Now I'm impotent. I long for my past glorious days. Okay. But as a seducer myself, I'll try harder. Mercenary contracts expiring, we'll let them expire. As we're not dealing with any major crises at this time. As we're still trying to recover from everything. After we took a severe beating in that crusade. Now my priority is just to try to get the legitimacy up once I'm crowned Emperor. That was my daughter. Crud. Now, given I'm impotent, now I'm less likely to have children. A little less likely. Look, it's minus 50 when you're impotent. 30 plus 20 actually negates it. Cancels it out. So what the hell are you worried about for? 12 supporters, 6 detractors. Not feeling well, huh? You're here in the Vatican. One day, you're next. Unless you want round 2. I'm going to challenge you in a duel. Spare from all the reading, most parts. The sermons just decorations and rehearsed the cue stuff as my Pope finds me amid the preparations. You'll all be listening closely, says the noise on. Let the choir sing a hymn that moves hearts and wins over your foolish naysayers. It's a pleasing thought. The hall filled with sound, and every voice part of my performance. What's my diplomacy skill? 9, because you're callous. So maybe a bit of that going up would be a bit helpful. Maybe. You don't need this because your renowned gain is excellent. So I'll say, let them call for peace and unity. Every time the attractor and compassionate guest will go up. Maybe get them to change their minds. Pope, great Spain, because full sense takes of the spice man will continue. However, my unyielding loyalty, support, and alliance between us, with your grace upon us. Listen, your holiness, you are an old man who is dying. Your days, your best days are past. True seeker that you are. So in other words, I will not listen to sycophants. Need the legitimacy, long. I noticed Duke Sicko cast first glance in my direction. He knows I was consideration. Of course, respect value starts. Dearest Emperor, we Dutch support you now and the days to come. The crown will soon rest on your head, but will our customs test in your heart? The coronation calls for a different focus. Me. Duchess Margaret of Northumbria. I'm gonna tell you again. I ain't gonna listen to ain't no sycophants. A warhound for you. How can we expect to smile across my vessel? So Buckingham. Swish wine, praise peace, and hope for the future of the realm. There's a dubious nest of Hertfordshire nobles. While verminize evilly and plot your downfall, my emperor, he spits. Give me leave to sound my war horn. I'll thrash Marzelban Shazade of Hertfordshire. Make no mistake. You're talking about the Sogdian, are you? The sister region. Dull and weak. She should not be ruling Hertfordshire. She should. And I even thought about seducing her. Because, you know, Sogdian beauties. It's a well-known fact in historical basis. But I must learn her language first. Before anything else. Come, come. Such passion belongs at my dining table. Leave my guests behind in the church, search a quiet moment for the weight of the crown dawns on me. The altar of the god shines dimly, lit by a dozen candles. A fragrant silence fills the cold walls. To my right, a mirror of Saint Matthew Alfred Sternlock. To the left, a texture that was once was Jesus fading slowly. The smile was perceptible. God, do not forsake Britannia. Almost there. What? Wait. If you lower their taxes, they'll like you more. The taxes become oppressive, my lord. Now even the richest merchants can afford to feed their children. I'll do this for once, okay? Get it all the way up. Good Emperor, Duke John. Duke John of Brittany. This practically shouts my tolerant bells for me. The subtle smirk on his face makes it doubt his honest touch. You're familiar with the installed Duke John of the Norman throne, yes? Our cause is true. We're at work at this place. Whispering among your guests, rousing your enemies. Such a mighty emperor, such a fine coronation. You have nothing to fear, surely. He is already my own. Duke Owen. Oh, he's the Jewish. I give no response to it, though. They gain a bit of discontent and they have rebel figureheads. They can try. Flames on the fireplace dance what looks like a round dance. The door to my chambers opens abruptly. Hear a familiar voice coming. Dear husband. The vast voice so soft and calm. I know that the day is near where you'll look at your reflection on the cold metal and wonder if you're doing the right thing. Let it be known. Let it be screened for every corner of this keep. I will stand by your side. Should be the smallest gift. I commissioned this for you. The Tour Artifact. An ornate tome that shows an adequate understanding of herbs that touches his pawn's subjects. such as the varied uses for a handful of rare herbs and plants. The cover is letter displaying a repeating image of a majestic bird, announcing about a placement of a gate inserts. It's held by closed by ornamental clasps. Why, this is more than I could ever ask for. Thank you. The occasion, while stately and proper, still feels incomplete. It's just some brought gathering or some casual feast. Or is a moment for a great political action, for historical change. My vassal, Waltham's my words are not made great by words, but by deeds. He urges, deeds! Deeds that shake the empire to its foundation. My daughter Anne thinks not this occasion watches with contempt. Because you know, I'm the one that executed her mother. Let the skies themselves join in celebration. Have your servants release flocks of captive birds in the air. Let all cages be emptied. Yep. There's some more trolls near. Yep. I will safeguard. Vassals of Britannia come forward to get their allegiance, one after another raising open palmed hands, another bending to give kiss fealty. But my vassal neglect to dress respect, someone hisses. Thomas? By God's nails! A distressful words. Duke John glares poison in my eyes during his oath giving. Princess Anne bears a weapon my prison order was. They hate me, but they cannot stop me. Yes, you were once dear, but not anymore. Here. And as for you, given that you're not feeling well, I wish the worst of you, you adulterer. Do not murder. He's the one to be dealt with in the next episode, in a rebellion. There's your legitimacy. By Pope Stephanus' hand, I know God's favor. Or has been. Yeah. The Norman crown he crowns me. Anointed sovereign. It's official. God save the Emperor. They have put the rights of the Emperor to the throne incomplete. Imperial consort is now to probably be instated as Empress. My wife conducts the rituals of her characteristic Rockstein upbringing did little to prepare for the English rites amid Catholic prayers. She recites the oaths from memory of their sounds before long, with great ceremony. Navarre's crown is laid on her head for the first time. The Empire of Britannia claims their Empress. My Empress, my sweet love. Navarre. You simply watch me, some with hope, some with doubt, all waiting for me to speak of my reign. I swear to the future. I could hear the questions they do not speak. Will I be just? Will I be fair? Will I measure up to my mother? I do not stand here as Emperor, back of their expectations. I come to choose my own path, a way forward for the Empire. Whatever Britannia becomes, whatever I become, begins with this very moment. Shall ensure peace, because everybody knows that reward. Domain limit up. Ease the burden. Do not start any wars or get involved in any wars. And now, let's feast. Reverend Rush falls when the cardinal adds, or a sanctity overhaul. My devout servant reputation seems to call forth my Pope. Stephanus, the famous who rises, proclaims the heart of May the light of heaven illuminate your reign. May God guide your path. May God grant you wisdom. And may Satan never darken your door. Praise God. There's one plate of food next my vassal Earl still goes on and on about a friendship. That's how we sandwich him. Are you sure not boring you, Your Majesty? Every unsympathetic guest. You're making a fool of yourself. You're making a fool of yourself could never bore me. Keep getting rid of that stress. If you don't understand my voices, the boss king bishop of the papacy gestures one moment at a time. Buried a jeweled encrusted coffer name. Stephanus, the truth seeker crystal. Your Grace, accept this token of goodwill from my anointed kingdom. May it symbolize a lasting bond between your people and mine. Just this once. A glorious moment for our peoples. Nobility began a carefully choreographed round dance, bearing symbolic props. They act out stage for my dynasty's rise, triumphs, and aspirations. All eyes turn toward the central figure of the spectacle. My vassal, Roger, takes the role of the lauded ancestor, drawing applause with an impassioned recitation of lineage's might. The message is clear. My right to rule is a legacy carried with pride. I applaud her performance with courtly grace. Jewel Tove when I married Emperor Thomas. What a wonderful day indeed that was. Oh, what kind of meat is this? So rich in flavor. Or these vegetables almost sweet. Oh, and these wonderful desserts. This feast is some of the best food I ever tasted. Delightful. I've worked tirelessly to promote the glory and foster the grandness of my coronation. I guess I've flushed with the inspiration of what they've witnessed here, radiant admiration. It was a fitting start for my reign as an emperor. From the beginning till the end, I spared no effort to impress all my attendees, friend or foe alike. But my fair-handed presence and my utter focus on the success of this great gathering, what was it all for? My legitimacy and prestige. 5 guests were affected. It'll last for 50 years. I'm here to ensure peace. 3,000 prestige, 757 legitimacy. It is not true. Just. Now I'm illustrious. Oh my god. Alright, let's go home and then we'll end the episode. Haunted Manor. I know what that's like. Giving out counsel, say, "Oh, you knave! Punch!" I don't want to risk you getting lost. At a distance, the city of Roma is a forest of towers and a maze of stone buildings. As we approach, scenery shifts, ruins of monuments, walls, and ancient churches coexist with farms and grazing houses. Programs seem to be everywhere, bartering, conserving, and curing the shrines and tombs of the city's saints. Mansions of forgotten aristocrats now serve for the faithful. I'll find something to bring home from here. The Girdle of Mary. Pedestal item. An elegant reliquary containing a holy relic. The Girdle of Mary. Piety up, piety per night, court grandeur, zealot vassal. We discovered trebuchets. So these will be the siege weapons we'll replace the old ones with. that we got, and I wanted to get land grants. Oh, tired. Just want this damn episode to end. Not to go slumber killing that blasted bird. Voyage, it's cursed. Save it. That's a good book. The Pope just died. Anastasius IV. He's a Krivich. He's Slavic. Dostavania, Your Holiness. You just inherited Earldom of Oxfordshire. Politically in decline, move on. As says, unknown. House Oxford, a local. A wise decision. Alright, let's chop that wood. Ah. I haven't seen that in them. Saint John of Burgundy. Debutantes colors that cast down his heterodoxy. I'm afraid I'll continue on my journey because I'm impatient now. My wife's a cunning politician. The cave. You remember your theater of the cave? White Skull. We have more sails. Our retinue ambushed through Sussex. It came upon a blacksmith's workshop at disarray. The smith covered in suit appears distressed, lamenting over this place. Oh, God has cursed poor Alexander. Misfortune strikes my anvil. He was about to repair my craft and my livelihood wane. Oh, woe is me. In a century. Well, you're a really nice guy, though in a century. Join us, we could use a smith. He's inspired. He wants to forge a sword. Alright. Make that sword. You did. Run for your lives! I don't want to end up like my mother. Especially that I've been recently crowned. My son's too young to rule, so we just had to run away. Okay, we'll end the episode here. So, this episode did not quite go as what I would have liked. At least from the front line of Crusade, as it's still ongoing, but they're losing battle after battle after battle. I think they're practically screwed at this point. So, we're just gonna have to accept it as it is. So, in the next episode, as the Crusade ends, I'll see too if I can improve the relations of certain vassals. Particularly you guys down here. And as well as those that they finally made the Chevites the majority of Hertfordshire. They've done it. That they did. But unfortunately, I kind of do not like her, because, I mean, we're getting along now, but It's just sometimes I wish she was the one that's ruling. Attraction and all that, but we gotta have inside connections in some ways. And all that. And after, once this crusade is over, do not start any wars and do not get involved in any wars. Just keep the peace, and then we'll be rich. We'll see you in the next episode, but until then, so long for now.